Hi everybody, welcome back to The Naked Life. I'm Angelique Ashton. So, Orgonite. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have heard me talk about this recently. It's something that I've just come across and become a little bit obsessed with because it's really cool. It's this kind of science meets metaphysical substance that's made of resin and metals and crystals. The science behind it was discovered by a guy named Wilhelm Reich, and it was started with trying to harness the positive energy of the world, right? The life-giving energy. Some cultures it's called chi, in some cultures it's called prana. I'm a yoga girl myself, so I'm familiar with prana. But that same, the force. If you're a Star Wars person, it's the force. It's the light side of the force. People who are students of his have read his works and discovered that you could make a composite material out of resin and metals mixed together, and you get the same kind of effects. It takes the world's negative energy and converts it to the positive energy of the Earth's resonance of the universe, the positive side, the light side of the force. So anyway, I know I'm sounding like, ooh, super metaphysical for those of you that aren't like into crystals and stuff, but let's face it, if you know me, you probably figured that someday I would end up as like a weird hippie lady selling crystals out of the back of a van, right? I was kind of inevitable. So here we are, and I am creating this stuff called Orgonite in the form of jewelry, specifically. Of course I make it into jewelry, right? That's what I would do. But it has amazing applications in jewelry because resin is very flexible in terms of a crafting material, and I'm kind of new to using it, so I'm learning my way around. I wanted to say though, because this is The Naked Life and because I am who I am, I need to disclose that the materials I'm using are completely non-VOC resin. And I did a lot of research. I read a lot of MSDS sheets, and I even researched all of the ones that are labeled eco resins and more green and friendly. Once it's hardened, all resin is pretty much totally inert. It's just hard plastic, and it's BPA-free plastic. So once it's hardened, it's safe to wear, it's safe to be around a chemically sensitive person. But while you're mixing it and making it, most resins do require you to wear a respirator, and so that means they're putting off some kind of fumes. But I did manage to find one that is 100% non-VOC, and it's so safe that you can even use it like in an enclosed space without a respirator. So I was comfortable with it, knowing that it's not leaving a fume on my clothing or in my hair that I'm gonna then walk into the trailer with, and my husband will be affected by. I wouldn't recommend, if you're chemically injured, just sniffing it. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, actually. That's not a good idea. But I will show you, this is the brand that I'm using. It's called Art Resin, and I love it. It's super easy to use. I'm excited on my little Orgonite journey. It is a discovery journey, and the more you get into it, it goes deeper and deeper down that rabbit hole. And there's a lot of people out there making this stuff that are making obviously way more than me. I just got into it, and are making way more advanced, probably, forms of Orgonite. But we'll see where I go with it eventually. We're starting somewhere. This is Orgonite. I got these lovely bead molds and was able to make beads out of them, and I'm super happy with this piece, so I'm going to be making more like this. And we'll see. In the future, I will be planning to sell these, so I'm going to revamp the old Etsy store and turn it into an Orgonite store, so be watching for that. Anyway, today we're going to pour a little bit of Orgonite. Okay, so now we're kind of filming the work area here. So today, as you see, I have some pieces ready to work on, and as usual, I'm kind of in various stages on all these things. I do that because I work on them throughout the week, so I end up with things that'll be, stage 1, stage 2, and then I'll mix up some resin and kind of finish off a couple pieces, and then I'll start a couple other pieces. So here I have a ring that is just ready to begin. It's kind of taped up the back, and it's all ready to start pouring. There's nothing in there yet. So this is called an SBB spiral, and I learned about those recently too, and learned that a few pieces that I did initially had the spiral going the wrong direction. in terms of energy flow. There's an actual direction you want them to go counterclockwise to push the energy through this direction to the wearer. So, like for instance, this is one of my very first successful pieces, I would say, and I love it. But you can see that that spiral is going clockwise. So what this is doing, according to what I've read on the internet, is it's pushing the energy this way out towards the viewer rather than the wearer. So anyway, today let's pour some Orgonite, and we're gonna get started with mixing up our resin. Okay, putting gloves on. Putting gloves on is hard. All right, here we go. So we are going to pour some of this into our little tiny mixing cup, and you very much are supposed to measure this. It should be 100% even. I am an eyeballer, and that is just my nature. I can't help it. My mother taught me how to cook by measuring salt in my hand. It's just the way it is. So I recommend, if you are new to this, I recommend for everybody to actually measure it. Anyway, so this is the hardener, and I am gonna eyeball how much I got in there and just match it with the hardener. And that's about that much. Okay, so when you're mixing this, you must mix it for precisely 3 minutes and no less. It has to be mixed for 3 minutes. We're just gonna mix, 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 and when I cut the video, I will edit this so you don't have to see me mix for the full 3 minutes. In my future versions of this stuff, you will see more of a metal powder mix that has copper, that has iron and titanium, and then I have silver and gold leaf that I'm mixing in. So trying to get as many kind of basic elemental metals as possible. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you guys are super fascinated by all of that. Let's get to pouring, right? So I'm gonna finish off this beautiful ring. I'm actually really excited to wear this. That has got some quartz crystal underneath the layer of colored crystals that you see here. All Orgonite should have a quartz crystal in it. There's an electric effect that is put off by quartz crystal, and that just kind of helps to charge everything and make the Orgonite more powerful. So that's it. That is Orgonite. I should say probably also too, if you see this listed for sale on eBay or on Etsy out there, you may see it called Orgon jewelry, or just Orgon generating or positive energy jewelry, something like that. But if it's a mix of resin and metals, it is basically the same stuff that we're talking about. Orgon energy is the name that Wilhelm Reich gave this energy, the chi, the prana, the life force, the light side of the force. He called it Orgon energy. So anyway, that's just a side note. I'm gonna finish pouring these pieces, and then we're gonna put them to rest to cure, and I will show you later what they look like, probably on my Instagram feed. So be looking for that, and thanks for joining me today at The Naked Life. See you next time.